The video call connected, and there he was, Brody. His face lighting up my screen with that familiar smile that always made my chest feel lighter. "First, I love you and I miss you, and I can't wait until you get home," he said. "I love you too, and I can't wait either," I replied. I leaned closer to the screen. "Where are you?" "I'm in the attic," he said, glancing around. "When I put my archery equipment up here, I found something cool." Brody had recently bought an old house in a quiet Houston neighborhood. I could already picture us living there someday, a thought I cherished as graduation and possibly an engagement loomed closer. "Check this out." He shifted a dusty chest into view under a bare bulb, and the inscriptions caught my eye immediately. They looked Arabic, intricate and ancient. He opened it, his voice tinged with awe as he began pulling out its contents. A triangular amulet made of silver, covered in the same markings, then a sliding box with scraps of paper and wood, and small, unrecognizable chunks. "It smells like jasmine," he murmured, sniffing. Then came a drawstring bag, spilling toenail clippings into his palm when he opened it. "What the hell?" he muttered in disgust. Finally, he pulled out a tattered Quran and a box of glass balls. "Ornaments?" I asked. "Number." "There's nowhere to attach a hook or string. There are 3 clear ones and this." He held up a yellowish one, its color like nicotine stains. The moment he did, I swear the ball moved. It lurched in his palm, fell and shattered on the floor. A flash of fire burst from the shards. Brody cursed, stumbling back. "What was that?" I cried. I don't know," he stammered, his eyes fixed on something I couldn't see. His head tilted, as though listening. Then, in a low voice, he said, "Brody?" And then, "Donette." My heart skipped a beat. What? Donette was his mother's name. His gaze met mine, blank and distant. "I have to go," he said abruptly, and ended the call before I could reply. I tried calling him back, but he didn't answer. Not that night, not the next morning. When he finally did, his voice was distant, heavy. "I'm a little busy right now," he said, and hung up again. The silence stretched, unbearable and wrong. I called his sister, desperate for answers. When she checked on him, her voice was wary. "He looked rough," she said, "like he hasn't slept. Has something been going on with you two?" "No, he was fine 2 days ago." "Well, he wasn't fine when I saw him. Almost acted like he didn't know me." The pit in my stomach deepened. I thought of the strange artifacts, that shattered ball, the way he'd said his mother's name. It had to be connected. I went to my Islamic studies professor the morning before flying home, recounting the eerie details. Her expression darkened as I spoke. She pulled out a book, flipping to a page with illustrations of objects that matched Brody's find. "These are tools for controlling Jinn," she explained. "Sometimes they trap them in glass balls. What you've described is dangerous." "Jinn? Like genies?" I laughed nervously. Her gaze was solemn. "Evil spirits, Aalia. Be careful." That afternoon, I stood at Brody's door, heart pounding. He opened on the 3rd knock, and the sight of him made me gasp. He was unshaven, his eyes sunken and bloodshot. "Brody! What's going on?" I pleaded. Something flickered in the hallway behind him, a fleeting glow like a flame. For an instant, I thought I saw a woman made of fire. Brody glanced back, then at me. "You should go," he said, his voice flat. Then he shut the door. I waited until nightfall, then used the spare key to let myself in. The house was eerily quiet as I searched for him. When I peeked into his bedroom, I froze. Brody lay on the bed, staring blankly at the ceiling. Straddling him was the flame woman, her body flickering, her head whipping around when she noticed me. Her face contorted, revealing sharp, glinting fangs. I ran. Doors slammed behind me as I darted through the house. The front door wouldn't budge. The attic ladder hung down, so I scrambled up. In the dim light, I dug out my phone, frantically searching for the email my professor had sent. Below, Brody and the flame woman stared up at me, their eyes burning with something inhuman. The attic door slammed shut. I screamed the protective passages from my phone until my voice gave out. The air grew thick with heat, and now the scent of smoke fills the attic. I'm trapped.